Now, in the upper regions of Cleveland County and around Belwood and Carpenter's Knob, there exists a strange creature that people have been seeing since November 1978. Of all the people who have seen it, none have been able to identify it till this date. While scientists have come from as far away as Henrietta and Six Points to look at that thing's tracks, they say they don't know what it is, maybe a bear, a little old panther. But old cousin Zeke, he lives over yonder in Nanney town. He knows an awful lot about this and that. He told me that he knows for sure what that thing is. He said it's Knobby, the Belwood Wampus Cat. And this is the true story of Knobby. This is a Nanco production.
George, I guess we better go in and get supper ready. I see the kids are home from school.
What do you say, kid?
Y'all have a good day?
Yeah.
I know you're tired. Let's go out for supper.
We want something good to eat.
Something good to eat.
Yeah.
Good to see y'all.
There, boy. You gonna play a ball today?
Arthur, let me in. Martha, I don't know what it was, but it was about 9 feet tall, and it killed 2 of the pigs.
Well, drink some coffee. You white as a sheet.
What was it, Nanny?
I don't know, but whatever it was, it sure scared me to death. It killed 2 of our pigs, and it must have been 9 feet tall with a bunch of big old hair on it. Scared me to death.
Well, what you plan on doing about it?
I want you to call my girls and old cousin Zeke from over in Nanney town and tell them to meet me over at Knob Creek. We're going to see if we can kill that thing.
Well, I'll call him, but what do y'all want for supper?
Pintos.
Okay, I'll fix some.
Oh, he's supposed to come. Oh, there he comes now.
Howdy, fellas, howdy.
Hello, cousin Zeke.
What are you boys out here doing anyway?
We're hunting a
All
bump.
right. How you doing?
Well, I'll tell you what, since we're all here, let's just walk up through here and see if we can't find some tracks.
Well, we'll see what we can find.
George, any of your pigs missing?
Yeah, I got 2 killed down there at the pig pen. He drug another or 2 off. He looked like he had tracks as big as a wash tub.
You sure you ain't been drinking out of that corn
I'm
crop?
sure, I swear that thing was 9 feet tall.
But we got some brown fur right here.
Brown fur. Yeah, that's about the color he was, sure enough. Just about that color right there. He must have went up through here, cousin Zeke.
Yeah,
Hey, George, I found some bones.
What?
Found some bones.
Bones.
Well, let's see what kind of bones you found there, Mike.
Yeah, that looks like my old goat that's been missing a week or 2. He must eat goats too.
Well, I don't know. Mike, you've been hunting for years. You ever seen anything like that?
I don't know. My brother said he seen something up on the knob the other week. He said he didn't have the slightest idea in the world what it could be.
Well, I ain't sure yet, boys, but we're going to track a little while and see what we can find.
Well, let's walk right up through here and see if we can't find something else.
Hey, look what I found.
What you got there, George?
I don't know, cousin Zeke. What does that look like to you?
What do you make out of that?
There's a corn cob. That must be from my pig pen.
Well, I tell you, boys, a lot of people would say that's just an old rusty tin can, but I know what we're after now.
What's that, cousin Zeke?
Well, we're after the Belwood Wampus Cat.
Ha! The Wampus Cat. There ain't no such thing as a Wampus
You know
Cat.
how I know?
How's that?
That's an Apex pork and beans can, and a Wampus Cat would walk 10 miles to get a can of Apex pork and beans.
Do you believe that?
Hey, I hear something coming.
What is it?
I don't know.
Well, be careful, boy. Hey, don't shoot. That's one of them clars.
Hey, what you fellas doing, rabbit hunting? We heard you on the CB here. I thought we'd come up and investigate. What you talking about here?
We're out of Wampus Cat hunting. You ever been a Wampus Cat hunting?
You talking about that cat that folks been seeing around?
Yeah,
Belwood?
you know what I'm
Give
going
me
to do.
that gun there, son.
You know, people seen it. Mike here said his brother seen it up on Ben's Knob. George there, he lives over here on Knob Creek, and he seen it. Since this thing's been seen a couple of times on the Knob and Knob Creek, I'm just going to name that thing Knobby. Is it all right with you, boys?
That sounds good to me. What about you, George?
Sounds good.
Sounds rough to me. I might better get my boy here home if that thing's running loose here. Say it's done some damage to you.
Oh, it's killed all my pigs up there at the pig pen, drug off 1 or 2 more, and it's a monster. I'm telling you, it's about 9 feet tall.
Well, I don't much believe that was Knobby, George. I tell you, Knobby wouldn't hurt nothing. He just loves to eat Apex pork and beans.
I know one thing, whatever it was, it scared me to death.
Well, I tell you, what I think, let's not shoot it if we see it. Let's try to catch it alive. I tell you, that thing's pretty valuable, and we might even sell it to the circus up here in Cage or somewhere.
The Cage or circus?
Yeah, they the circus in Cage. Have you not never seen?
I don't think I've ever been up that way.
Well, they is, and Belwood Zoo might be interested in that thing. But now I tell you, I don't claim to know everything. I know a lot about this and that, and I say that that's the Belwood Wampus Cat.
Well, I wished everybody could see him so they would think I was telling the truth.
Well, I believe you, George, but I tell you what, now let's just be on the safe side. Let's just think this thing out now. Why don't I just go up to Henrietta? I know some scientists up there, Dr. Cobb and Dr. Scott. They run a big scientific laboratory in Henrietta. Well, it's right in the edge of Henrietta. It's out there next to Six Point. And I believe them scientists can help us. And if it's a wampus cat, like I said, then we're gonna catch that rabbit.
Let's do that.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna go to the laboratory after we leave down here, and I'm gonna have them scientists come back up here. And any time that any of you boys find the track, George here said them tracks was as big as a wash tub. Well, I want you to take a wash tub and cover the track up, so that when we get back here with them scientists, that they're gonna have something to look at.
Well, how far you boys come? Come to the big creek down here up here?
Yeah, we come up.
We come down the creek, and you boys come up the creek. We didn't see nothing of a big track up the creek.
Well, there ought to be some tracks somewhere, of course, in the leaves. It's hard to find.
Well, since we're all together, let's just walk right back up through here and see if we can't find something.
All right.
Well,
and we'll get them scientists to come down here, and let's just all meet back down here. George, you have to go in the milk or something?
Yeah, I got the milk, but after that I'm free.
Well, it'll be getting dark the time you and Martha get your milking done. And Mike here, he's got to go courting or somewhere, so I guess the best thing to do is this me goes to get them scientists at Henrietta and come back down here, and we'll meet back down here in the morning and bring the scientists, and we'll figure out exactly what this thing is.
Sounds good to me.
About what time could it be?
Oh, I don't know, about 8 o'clock.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Let's go up through this way and see what we find.
reckon it'd be safe to take my boy along, or?
Yeah, take him along.
Okay, John, come on and hold the radio for me. Let me hold your hand so you stay
Have you
close
other
to
boys
it.
seen anything up that
Okay.
way?
Come on and stay behind me.
Well, we're going up this way. If you see anything coming in off the other end of Knob Creek, give us a shout, will you? 10-4.
Looks like a good place for him to be in there. What do you think? You know, Martha, I wonder what that monster was.
I don't know, but you sure was scared. It must have been some of your kinfolk.
If you seen something 9 foot tall, it'd scare you to death too.
I was scared, although I didn't see it. I was really scared.
Yeah, and it killed my pigs too.
I know, I was scared about that. Wonder who that is at the door. Quiet since y'all kids move over. Hello.
I'm Gloria with the Belwood Cat.
I want you to come in. Have a seat over here. Let me just coffee. Do you like a cup of coffee?
No, thank you. I just ate supper.
We haven't ate yet. I've been too scared to eat.
You know, we were really scared today. We were out on the porch there, and the pigs started squealing, and We got real scared. Dogs started barking.
What did this monster look like?
I didn't see it, but George saw it, and he was really, really scared.
I saw it this morning at the hog pen. It killed 2 of my pigs, and it looked like it was about 9 feet tall and had hair all over it.
The children, they came home from school, and when the pigs and everything started hollering, I got them in the house. They were scared.
And you say it was real tall, about 9 foot tall?
Yes, bigger than anything I've ever seen.
He said it was big and hairy.
Had big eyes.
Did it try to harm any of you?
He said he just looked at it.
I didn't stay around long enough to see.
Did you children see this monster? Did it scare you real bad?
Yes.
They were really scared.
It made the scariest sound I've ever heard.
Did any of the other neighbors or anyone from around here see it?
Some rabbit hunters up on the knob said they saw it.
Did it harm anything or try to harm y'all?
Yes, it killed my pigs, and I think it killed 1 or 2 of my goats, too.
Have there been any people out looking for it?
Yes, we organized some hunters to go look for it, and we found some hair, and we found where it killed something in the woods.
Well, it must really be a big bad monster.
It
Well,
must,
you all have
it
seen
must
and
be,
heard.
because we have really been scared for the animals and for our children.
Well, I know you all have been scared, and I guess y'all were really scared, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I have enough for a story now. I guess I better get back and write it. And I sure do thank you nice people.
You're welcome.
Did you say you worked with the Belwood?
Belwood Cat.
Cassette?
And,
We appreciate it. Come back to see it.
okay, thank you nice people.
Bye.
Hello there, Dr. Scott.
How you doing, Cousin Zeke from Nanney Town? How you
Yes,
doing,
sir.
buddy?
Just fine. How are you?
Yeah, good to see you. Have a
Yes,
seat.
sir. Yes, sir. What's been going on around here?
Well, not too much, Cousin Zeke. We been studying the sex habits of a bullfrog on the Broad River.
You must have got a government grant to do that.
Yeah, it's a good grant too. We got enough to get all this equipment together
Well,
and get to working on it.
don't tell me that's a bullfrog in that thing.
No, we took quite a bit of frog hair and everything and gathered it together.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I'll show you how this works. So we're using this solution here, and it drips down on the frog hair,
Yeah.
and it takes the odor off that frog hair. We're trying to study to see if that doesn't, attract the female frogs, to the bullfrog and
Yeah.
everything. And that should tell us something about that anyway. But
Well, if it don't, you can always bottle that stuff up and sell it for vacuum scoop.
a what?
Vacuum scoop.
What is that?
That's what makes all these here vacuum scoops come out of the country.
Oh gosh, that's amazing.
Well, I'll tell you what I come to town for, Dr. Scott.
What you got?
Well, up here in the upper end of the Cleveland County, not too far from Nanney town, a lot of people up there have been seeing some kind of monster.
Yeah.
They called me and wanted me to come look at that thing's tracks. And I went down there and looked around and see what I could find out. And I about come to the conclusion that that is nothing but a Belwood Wampus Cat. Now, them boys up there didn't believe me. Old George Humdinger, he seen it. It got two of his pigs. His wife Martha, she heard it, but she didn't see it.
What's a Wampus Cat?
Well, it's kind of a mixed up breed of cat, and they don't hurt nobody. They're scary looking. And the only thing they want to do is eat 8 packs of pork and beans.
Really?
And I told them boys that I know you fellas down here at Henrietta, the lab, Dr. Scott and Dr. Cobb. By the way, where is Dr. Cobb today? Is he off today?
Yeah, he's off today. He decided, it's been so pretty outside and everything, he decided he'd just take off and get some sun. He likes to play golf.
Well, now
He's too good of a golfer. But
there's a lot of people that says they seen that thing, and there's a lot of people that don't believe it. But like I say, old George Humdinger, he seen it, and his wife Martha, she heard the things. Kids, they heard it.
Yeah.
And I told them it was a Belwood Wampus Cat, and they don't hardly believe it. And I told them I'd come down here. It's a pretty big thing. Now, there's a riverboat, scenic riverboat that runs up and down Knob Creek every third Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a lot of folks on that thing said they seen this monster out on the bank.
Well, has anybody identified it, or what have they got a drawing of what it looks like?
Well, it's been in the newspaper. Gloria Lee there, she wrote a story about it for the Belwood Gazette, and that's kind of what they think it looks like. They say that thing's 9 foot tall, and Gloria Lee, she interviewed George Humdinger and his wife Martha, that's who it was, and they said that it was a sure enough fact. And I wanted to know if you and Dr. Cobb, both of you, or either you, if Dr. Cobb's not back by that time, can come up there and examine that thing's tracks and see whether or not that I'm right, that it is a Wampus Cat.
Well, I tell you what, definitely, I tell you, being a scientist and everything, anything that's, curious like that, but we really want to find, try to find out. Heck, fire, it may make, big prize, Nobel Peace Prize or something like that, trying to find out what this thing is.
Well,
it may be like a Loch Ness monster.
I told them boys, I said, now Dr. Scott and Dr. Cobb, they run this big laboratory here at Henrietta, right outside Henrietta, close to 6 Points. And you've got all kinds of gadgets in here. And I believe, now we found some hair on some bushes up there.
Really?
Some brown hair, fur. And I believe if nothing else, you can bring some of that down here and run it up and down through that chimney there, or whatever you want to call that thing.
Yeah.
And,
well, I'll tell you something now. It just so happens that up at Chapel Hill, they have got a library of all the different odors and everything. If you can extract it from the hair,
yeah,
you can find out exactly what breed, species, and genus and family that thing's from.
well,
So, boy, if I had that, I could probably get up there and
we
get
need to find out something about that thing, because I tell you,
Yeah.
it's scaring too many people. And if it's a Wampus Cat, it ain't going to do a thing but eat 8 packs of pork and beans. But if it's something else, we need to find out about it.
And I'll tell you what, there's just so many pork and beans, they might get to where they want to eat something else.
Well, yeah.
You never know. It might get. I noticed it looked like that thing's got horns on it.
Well,
Did it ever buck anybody?
never got that close to it. George didn't. It scared poor old George so bad he just went plumb under the house, they said, instead of trying to go in the house.
Yeah. Well, it's probably like what you say. It's probably just a Wampus Cat or,
Yeah.
whatever you're saying. Because, I doubt it's anything that's special, but you never know, I guess.
Well, I like to have some official opinions about it, and that's the reason I thought, hadn't seen you boys for a long time. I thought I'd just come on down here and ask you if you would come up there. If you'd come up there about Saturday morning, there's going to be a bunch of us tracking that thing, and I want you to examine them tracks.
Okay. Look like you're biggins from this picture.
Yeah.
How big a tracks are they?
Well, they're pretty good sized tracks. And maybe you might could bring some samples down here and put through this. Now, what is that, a pinball machine or something?
Well, actually, it's interesting you asked about that. You take like a frog hide or something like that, and you put it on there, and it tells about the tensile strength of that frog hair. In fact,
Complicated outfit there to me, Dr. Scott.
Yeah. Now this is where we take it and we're giving it a rub test to make sure that the thing's going to withstand. We're thinking that in a controlled environment and everything, we can, you know, maybe use it for shoe leather or something like that.
You give it the rub test.
Yeah, and then we can start farming these in the natural locations of the Broad River.
Well, why don't you just name that machine the Dub, and then if it rubs it, the name of the machine is Dub, you'd have a rubby-dub-dub.
Rubby-dub-dub, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we think that will boost the economy of, you know, Cleveland County,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know, Ruston up through yonder.
Yes, sir.
Because I'll tell you, the bullfrog reproduces at a absolutely just a tremendous rate.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, now we're hoping this old Knobby thing don't do that. Now,
I hope, yeah.
I'll tell you why it's called Knobby.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is, but it was seen the first time up on Carpenter's Knob.
Oh yeah.
Then George Humdinger seen it, and he lived on Knob Creek. So rather than calling it a thing, we're calling it Knobby. And
Yeah.
the Belwood Gazette, they picked it up, and they're calling it Knobby. And the radio station there at Belwood, WBEL, they've already said they're going to send a fella out there to interview everybody, and it's getting to be a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know if you and Dr. Scott, not you and Dr. Scott, but you, Dr. Scott, or if you and Dr. Cobb both
Sure.
will come up there on Knob Creek Saturday morning and measure them tracks and give us your scientific opinion about what this thing is.
Sure, I tell you what, I don't have anything to do Saturday. I tell you what, I'm getting to feel like a frog in here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it gets to be, you know, it's just something you work on for such a long period of time.
Well,
and I'd like to get out. And also, the people in this area, they think, oh, well, you know, you don't really do anything in this science department. And if I get out and get into the public, it's going to get a public awareness of just what's happening here in Henrietta.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, the advancements that we make
Well,
here are just absolutely out of this world.
We'll be glad to have you come up there and
Yeah, we'll
help
get
us
up
out. And it'd be as refreshing as a dip of snuff for you to get out of this place, I
I
guess.
guarantee it. Well, I don't dip snuff. I chew tobacco every now and
Well, I'll have us a good supply of backers
then.
Saturday morning.
Chattanooga chew. I love it.
Well, we'll have something
Yeah.
to chew on. So you come on up there Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And let's look at that thing.
Good to see you, boy. It's
Yes,
really
sir.
been good to see you. I tell you, come on back anytime.
Okay, we'll see you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Fine, thank
What can I do for you?
you. I need some shells, but
What kind of shell? You want bird shots or squirrel
no,
shots?
I need some knobby shells.
Oh, knobby shell.
What do you think about that old knobby?
I don't know. I think maybe it might just be somebody dressed up in a monkey suit.
Oh, no, he's real. He's been roaming around these hills.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I better get some bananas today to feed old knobby.
Okay. What else for you then?
That's all. Yeah, he's been roaming around here a good while now. We're gonna kill him one of these days.
Be $2. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
You
you,
have
sir.
a good day now. Goodbye.
I did hear something.
Good morning there, George.
Hello there, Cousin Zeke. How you doing?
Them scientist fella from Henrietta not got here yet.
They ain't yet. I'm looking for them any minute, though. Have a seat here. Let's pick one on the guitar, banjo.
Well, we can pick a little bit if I can get up here on this board. Ah! Yeah, them scientists said they'd be here this morning. We got to catch this thing, whatever it is. It's scaring too many people.
Yeah, and it's done killed too many of my livestock, too.
Okay. Here come them scientist fellas right now. They must have hitchhiked all the way from Henrietta to get here. It's about
Hey, Cousin
time.
Zeke.
Howdy, boys.
Hey there, Dr.
Howdy.
Scott.
How you doing?
Dr.
Howdy.
Cobb, Dr.
Howdy,
Scott.
Yeah, this is Dr. Cobb.
This here's George
I'm Dr.
Humdinger.
Scott. Good to see you.
You boys are
George?
playing a little tune there, wasn't
Yeah, we're picking a little bit of waiting on you, feller. Old
Uh.
George Humdinger here, he seen that thing.
Oh.
It scared him. Somebody told me that he went plumb under the house. But it was a scary thing, and it scared his wife Martha and the young'un. And I wanted you boys to come up here. You was all playing golf.
you? Yeah, I know it. Oh, I hate that.
Tell him how he shot. It's terrible.
You don't want to know that. You don't want to know
Well, anyway, I come down there to the laboratory and talked to Dr. Scott the other night. We had a long talk, and I told him all about this thing, and I wanted to get you boys to come up here and give us your scientific opinion about what this thing is.
Well, that's our job, isn't it?
That's right. I tell you, I was really excited about coming up here because I thought, that it was, worthwhile checking into.
Yeah.
And, we may have a Loch Ness monster on our hands there.
Yeah, you can't never
Well,
tell.
I think George here, didn't that constable come over here and make some plaster casts of them tracks?
Yeah, we got
Oh,
some
that's
tracks
great.
out here if y'all want to look at them.
Well, boy, this is pretty country. I wasn't pretty good rabbit hunting around
Oh,
here.
yeah, it's rabbit hunting, snake hunting, bumblebee hunting, anything you want around
I
here.
heard they killed a snake right out here the other day.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, we got to
Well,
watch
show us
that. Now,
where
we
it's
ain't
at.
hunting snakes. We hunt
No,
Knobby.
let's go
Yeah.
down here and look at these tracks, boy, and see what we can find.
Show it to us. We're ready.
Yeah, that thing, we've got to find out what it is.
Wonder how old they are.
Well, George just seen that thing last Thursday, so these tracks are pretty well fresh.
Dr. Cobb, I'm going to give you the measuring tool here.
Good gracious.
It's awful big, ain't it?
I saw a track one time like this. Cliffside.
What, at Cliffside, what made a track like that in Cliffside?
Well, they was making building a power plant. That bulldozer come off that river, made a track just like that.
Well, this ain't no bulldozer track, I'll tell you that.
It sure ain't. You ought to see that thing. It looks like it's about 8 or 9 foot tall and foot as big as a barrel.
How big is it?
Oh gosh, it's way on up. I hear you.
How big is it, Dr. Cobb?
That thing's 16 inches long and 10 inches wide.
Well, what do you boys think it is? I say it's a Belwood Wampus Cat myself.
Let me see how deep it is, because you got to tell how big the thing is, how much impression it makes in the dirt.
You tell how much he weighs like that?
A whole lot about that,
Well, let's see. We'd like to know how much he weighs.
That thing's about 2 inches deep, too. Now
Well,
you got a big animal on your
what
hands.
is that, about an inch to the 100 pound or something?
Oh, this thing's 7 foot tall. I bet he'll weigh over 200 pounds.
Yeah. I guarantee it.
Every bit of it to make a track like that.
Well, George, you being scared there, it'd have been easy for you to add 2 foot to him. You said he was 9 foot, Doctor. Cobb here says he's 7 foot, so I guess you've been scared to count it for the 2 foot difference.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's, you know, when they're moving fast, like a deer or anything like that, they all seem just a little bit smaller than when they weigh out and everything. You know, if you shot a deer, I guess you could go.
I'll tell you, buddy, when you see this thing, you won't be sticking around long enough to find out how big it is.
Really?
Really?
I bet it
Really?
would scare you. Something that made that.
I bet a thing like that could open a can with his teeth.
Well, that's what I say. These Belwood Wampus Cats, all they want to do is eat a peck of pork and beans.
Oh,
They ain't gonna hurt nothing. George said they got his pig, but of course he's wanting a little meat to go with his beans. Other than that, they ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Tell you, something that size can have whatever he wants. I'll tell
Well,
you.
yeah, you're right.
I tell you what, I had some other fellas coming. I see them coming right here, right now. Mike Earl, that professional hunter, is with us down there on the creek the other day. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
George, how you?
And we got Darrell over here and Fred. They come to help us a little bit. Let's just all go on down towards the Ears barn and look around a little bit. And a fella from WBEL Belwood's coming to interview all of us. If he'd get here pretty soon, we'll talk to him. This thing's getting pretty big. Darrell, come here, boy. I want to show you something. Look here. If you don't believe this thing's getting big, done got the Knobby t-shirt and the Knobby hat.
Oh, gosh.
That's
what
right.
they say. Yeah, I saw the picture in the paper looking like that.
Yeah. Belwood Gazette, they've run stories on it. WBEL's coming up here. Got the t-shirts and hats. It's getting big.
Well, they
Out
certainly
of
got
hand,
the feet
that's what
right.
it sounded to me like.
Huh?
Sound like getting out of hand.
Well, you boys agree with me that this is Belwood Wampus Cat?
Well, from the looks of them tracks, I'd call it something in that category. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'd like
I've
to
heard
have
of that
that.
Wampus Cat when I was a kid. Wampus Cat Bell. Not the Bell, what is the Wampus Cat? But that must have been what they was talking about.
Yeah, probably was. Here comes that fella from WBEL right now.
Even fella.
Yes,
Howdy,
sir.
howdy.
You got a story for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a good tale. I don't know what about a story, but George here, talk to him. He's the one man that's seen George Humdinger there.
Yes, sir. I went down to this building and something was hollering and going on, and I didn't know what it was. Went down and a pig was squealing and opened the door, and it was in there, and it done killed a pig or two, and my dogs were scared to death. They wouldn't even come back out no more.
And you really expect our listeners to believe a story like that from West Virginia?
Well, I know it's hard to believe, sir, but I did see it. I saw it. It was my own eyes, and it scared me to death.
Well,
Now, we'll put this on the air, and you see, and when we get it on the air, why, it'll go all over the whole United States after that. Now, you realize that we're putting confidence in you.
Well, I appreciate it, and I won't try to keep you not disappointed here, but you can see the tracks yourself. You can see something was here, and it was right in this building up here, and I saw it. I had my shotgun, and I almost shot it.
Well, that thing's bigger than me.
And
Gracious.
I'm Dr. Scott, and I can confirm what he says because we done some measurements on this track. That thing, you know, 16 inches long and 10 inches wide and 2 inches deep. You've got a big animal on your hands.
Now tell me exactly who you are so our listeners will really...
I'm Dr. Scott from the Henrietta Science Department. This is my colleague, Dr. Cobb.
Dr. Cobb, how you doing?
Yeah, Dr. Cobb, would you give... You seem to be the senior officer here. Would you give us your explicit opinion on
Well, I heard about this thing when I was a kid back on Bunker Hill and the Rabbit. And I just let it go at that. Me and Dr. Scott's in the... We was doing the sex habit of frogs, and they called us in. And I sure am glad that they did, because I've heard of this thing all my life.
Well, you know, there's some wild tales comes out of that
Yeah,
swamp over there.
yeah. But this first time I've ever run into it. I'm glad they called us in on it.
well, Mike Earl here, a professional hunter, he is with us down on the creek.
Now, I've heard of Mike Earl,
How you doing?
famous hunter. Now, you just give us your experienced opinion of what this thing would be.
Well, I ain't seen nothing like it. I've been hunting for 10, 11 years, and I ain't never seen nothing this big. We're taking all precautions with it and don't want to take no risk with it, and that's why we've got our guns along with us. And hopefully we can pin this thing down today sometime.
Well, now, I'm looking, our listeners can't see, but now I'm going to tell them that both of y'all are armed.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And And what kind of weapon? Do you plan to shoot it when you see it?
That all depends. It's just, I'd rather trap it. Maybe we can get a little money out of it or something. But if we have to, we might.
I thought if we could catch this thing alive, either the Belwood Zoo or the Kaiser Circus, one of the two would be glad to take this thing off our hands.
Well, now, Zeke, are you prepared to take control of it when you find it?
Well, unless it gets control of me. And if it does, I'm going to give it Knob Creek and anything else it wants.
Well, I think that'd be a wise decision, seeing as how it'd have the upper hand.
Well, I tell you, over here's a couple of fellers you need to talk to. They own this land here. George Humdinger here, he just rents this house from these fellers. This, Mr. Sperling there and Darrell. You talk to them, they might tell you something about it.
Now, Darrell, I understand your dad owns this property.
Yes, sir, he does.
Yeah. You're considered to be a respectable person in these parts, and your word would count for a lot. Have you ever seen this thing?
No, sir, I can't say to see it, but I've seen the tracks here. We've heard it hollering at night.
Now, that'd be frightening.
It's an awful thing.
That's true. And I bet your mama and sister are just scared to death when it hollers.
Yeah, they get scared.
What have you found?
Dogs get tore all to pieces and everything.
What you got there?
Oh, you know, I'm coming to the conclusion that maybe there's more here than we thought. The assignment card just said a wild creature rammicking around over here. And Mr. Sperling, are you sure that this thing is real now? Your word would count now.
Yes, sir.
You're sure it's real?
Yes, sir, I'd say it's real.
And are you sure it's not just some kind of hoax to cover up a still over here on your part?
No, I was, it ain't nothing
now I want the truth. Now, every time I've ever heard of one of these things, usually it ain't long till a still just kind of appears, you know.
No, there's no steels around.
Well, all right then.
Come here, we found a little something.
I want you to look at this, Cousin Zeke.
Got a piece of his hide right here.
Good gracious.
Look at here.
Looks like it's tougher than rubber.
2-inch piece of hide. Now, that's something.
This thing came off his foot.
Yeah, but you reckon it is? It's kind of rough.
He must have tore it up in a fight.
Here's some of his hair.
Yeah,
we can take that and extract that like we do that
you
frog
can
hair.
check that thing out down at the laboratory there. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got all these hunters here, and this man's got to get back over. Mr. Forbes has to the radio station and get all this stuff on the air. And like I say, it's getting to be a pretty big thing, so we're going on down towards the barn here and see what we can find. Mr. Forbes, we certainly appreciate you coming over.
Well, we'll certainly be glad to put this on the air for you, and if you hear of anything else, I hope you'll give me a call and let me have the first line on it you get.
Well, we certainly will. We'll
and
give
I do thank you for the tip.
We'll give WBEL exclusive rights to this Knobby story.
Well, I certainly appreciate it, and I'm sure the management will be sure to write you up for the credit, and I appreciate it so much.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Good to see you.
Well, is there any more tracks off down this way? I don't see any.
Looks like he went into the field and came back out.
Well, he dug out some pretty good little holes around here, boys. I believe he's hiding them beans. I don't know what's going on, but these old barn places and all pretty bad for a wampus cat.
You reckon he tore up this ground like this?
It looks like there's been a pulling around down here.
Let's check out this barn.
Okay, go ahead there, boy. I'll stand back a little bit.
Don't let him run over. Somebody holler. We want to get a look at him at least.
Let's go around on this side here, boy.
Looks like you got a nest in here.
We'll go around over here on this side and see what we find.
I'll tell you one thing, he's went in and out of there many of a time.
It looks like it had a place to lay down in there.
Ain't a little bit of hair snagged off around over here along there. Yeah. Dr. Doc.
We can take that back and get it extracted again.
Yeah. Hey, listen, boy, I thought I heard something. Back down in this way. Say, anybody got any idea how that we might can just capture this thing? We don't want to shoot it. We need to capture it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I got it figured out.
What's that, Mike?
You told me how much this thing like them Apex pork and beans. Well, I went ahead and brought a case along with us, and I think we just place it right here in this barn. Sooner or later, he might go ahead and go in there. What do you think?
Well, now you might do it, Mike. You might have a good idea right there. You put them in that building, and we'll all get around here somewhere or another and hide, and maybe he might go in there. I don't know exactly what we'd do with him. We might send him to the circus or something. Scott, what would you do with him?
I want you to bring him to me so we can study its sex habits.
Oh, yeah, you're studying the sex habits of the bullfrogs on Broad River.
I'm getting tired of that, I'll tell you.
Dr. Scott, what do you want to do with him?
I tell you, I like to take him down there and stake him out at Bowles Barbershop there in Henrietta. We all make a killing off of that.
Well,
Charge to see that rat.
Charge a quarter to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
sure.
Well, that might be all right. I know George here don't want to do nothing with him. He just wants him out of his house.
Right. I just want to get him out of my way. He's a ball.
Yeah,
Well,
that's right.
listen, we're going to head on. I got enough stuff to do a lot of testing and everything. And if you get him, let me know.
I appreciate you boys coming all the way from that Henrietta Laboratory down here.
Sure.
Take it easy, Cousin Zeke.
And-
George, good to meet you.
If we catch him, we'll let you
We can
know.
help you out
See
any
y'all
way.
later.
sir.
Good
Yeah,
luck, man. I
all right.
appreciate
All
it.
right.
Take
Sure
care.
We'll be
will.
seeing you, fellas.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Well, that's tough, man.
Fred, Carol, Mike, George, I think if we'll all get around here and hide, that he may come on down in here and go into that thing and ask them beans, and if he does, we're just gonna shut the door till we can get him loaded on the truck.
Well, if this works, I don't know what. If it don't work, I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, it might work, Mike. Let's just all get around here out of sight. He might smell them beans.
I thought I heard something, Cousin Zeke. Let's hide.
Get out of the way right quick.
Just so we catch him. Mike, you think that important bean trick is gonna work?
They better. I'm getting tired of this thing fooling me, and I just can't catch him. I hope it works.
Listen, I hear something, boy. I believe he's in that building.
Thanks for nuts here.
That don't find there good, boy.
All right, I believe that's going to hold him right there now.
That's gonna hold it. That'll hold it.
We better let that thing calm down a little bit.
Yeah, let's go up there, town. Get some cold drink of water. He can't get out of there.
We got him now.